Healthy Conversations is made possible through a grant from the William L. and Ruth T. Pendleton Memorial Fund.
Hello, my name is Jill Potter. I'm one of the cardiac rehab nurses here at Dignity Yavapai Regional Medical Center. I'm also a 6th-degree black belt in Kim-Scream-Do and Shuri-Ryu styles of karate. My friend and partner here is Dave Hagan. He is a 5th-degree black belt in the same styles. And today we're going to go over some self-defense for seniors or for anyone for that matter. It's our goal to help you understand the proper response that is needed in situations that either make you feel uncomfortable or cause you to feel threatened. So, right now we're looking at a huge influx of older people because the baby boomers are all reaching that age where they're aging. And so they're in the older population. And there are about 37 million Americans who are 65 years or older. And by 2030, 1 in 5 Americans will be over 65. So the most common types of crimes against seniors are financial, property crimes, violent crimes, and elder abuse. So are you among those who feel fearful? Do you feel fearful when you go out in the public, when you're out in a parking lot, when you have to leave your car, and when you come back out, it's now dark? So those are things that you need to think about. Half of people 75 and older are afraid to leave home after dark because they just don't know what situation might arise and how they're going to react to it. Fear of crime contributes to loneliness, a sense of isolation. So what are the most common crimes? Again, they're financial, so maybe somebody is scamming you by calling you and asking you, do you need a new warranty on your car or something like that? They're trying to scam you out of your property, which could be something as small as your cell phone or something as large as your home. There are also violent crimes where people go out and they're attacked and they don't know how to react, and we're going to try to deal with that. And elder abuse is something that we don't see as much in the groups that I deal with, but I do know that that is one of the problems that are out there right now. So your best defense, your best of all, is awareness. I can't stress that enough. Awareness, awareness, awareness. You need to not walk like a victim. You need to not look like a victim. You need to be aware of your surroundings. You need to not act furtive and as though you really think that there's somebody out there waiting for you. You need to walk with a self-confidence. Hold your head up, look around you. Don't be digging in your pockets or your wallet for your keys. Try to have them in your hand. And as a matter of fact, if you can extend them through your fingers, they make a kind of a dandy weapon. We are a society that's very into our phone. You know, we're constantly looking at our telephone to see who sent us a text, or we're looking, oh my gosh, where did we put our car? So when you go someplace and you're parking your car, number one, try to remember what slot you parked it in. What was the number of that lane that I parked my car? I know personally that's something that I forget on a regular basis. So it's really good for you to know where you parked your car. If you're going into a Walmart or a mall or something and you're going in the late afternoon, try to remember to park your car near a light, because when you come out, it's probably going to be dark, and now at least you're near a light. Be aware of your surroundings as you approach your vehicle. Take a look. Are there any feet there that shouldn't be? Are there shadows that shouldn't be? Just kind of be aware of what you're looking at. And that is your best defense. Carry yourself with confidence. Grasp your keys, as I said, in your fists. They come right through your fingers. Park under a light. And keep at least one arm free. So a lot of times when people come out of the grocery store, they think, oh, you know, I really don't want to deal with that grocery cart. So I'm going to leave it here and I'm going to grab all my bags and I'm going to put them over my arms and I'm going to stagger to my car. Well, you have nothing free in case of an attack. And so what I like to do is, as long as I don't have a whole grocery cart full of groceries, I like to take most of the bags in my non-dominant arm. In my dominant arm, I carry something like a bag with 6 cans of cat food, something that if you are going to be attacked, it makes a dandy weapon. Ladies, your purse also makes a dandy weapon because if it's anything like mine, it's usually pretty heavy. Look and listen. So you want to look around you. You want to be aware. Are there things that aren't supposed to be there? Do I feel like there's something there that isn't supposed to? You need to always have sort of a gut instinct where you are thinking ahead and thinking, all right, I don't feel comfortable. Now, almost any store that you go back into and you tell them, I'm sorry, I do not feel comfortable. I need to have someone walk out with me. They'll at least have the bag boy walk out with you. In many cases, it could be a security guard. So listen to your own gut instinct. If your gut instinct is telling you, I don't feel comfortable, this feels dicey, then go back and walk with somebody because it's much better. Now, how to respond if you are attacked or threatened? Well, number one, don't panic. Panic is your worst enemy. If you panic, you're absolutely going to freeze. You're not going to know what you need to do next. The next thing is if someone actually physically grabs you, you want to think to yourself, what do I have free? So they have my one hand, but I still have my other hands. I have my feet. I have my mouth. I can scream. Don't be afraid to make a scene. Don't be afraid to make some noise because it could be a life or death situation. Statistics tell us that about an hour after you are taken away in a vehicle, you might not be coming back. So you definitely don't want to get into somebody's car with them. That is a huge thing to be aware of. Then also be aware of what response this requires. So we have what we call in karate, friendly versus non-friendly techniques. Now they're all going to look a little unfriendly. But the thing is that some situations only warrant something that will let that person know that their advances are not welcome. You want them to let go of you. You want to go on your own. You want to not cause a scene, so let's just let go. Those are the friendly techniques. The non-friendly techniques are the ones that you use when now you have no doubt in your mind that this is going to be a very dicey situation. So rule number one, don't panic. So it looks like they're thinking about it. Don't give it too much thought. You do need to respond. So the friendly techniques are the ones that are used just in an uncomfortable situation. And this could be someone that you actually know, but they're just stepping over that boundary. Everybody has their own body bubble, their own area that's your real estate, as our instructor used to tell us. And so if somebody is stepping into your real estate, it's your right to step out and do something about it. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to demonstrate some friendly versus non-friendly techniques. So one of them would be a palm heel strike. This is an area of your hand that you can hit with that actually isn't going to hurt you that much, but it's very effective when it's used on their nose. So you can strike them straight on, and that is considered friendly. We will come back to that technique in a little bit when it's not as friendly. You can, if they've got a hold of you, you can step in and you can do a scrape and a stomp. So what you're doing is you're scraping down their shin. And today I have on flip-flops, but even if I did it in flip-flops, it would not be comfortable. And it especially hurts when you stomp right down on the instep. So that's another non-friendly, or friendly technique, I'm sorry. You can actually just take your fingers and push. You're mostly just kind of straightening your arm, and that's moving them a little bit away from you and letting them know, hey, I don't like that. I'm going to take a look at my notes here to see what other we consider friendly. Knuckles to the sternum. So your sternum is a very sensitive area. There are a lot of nerve endings in that area. So if you push against their sternum with your knuckle and you keep it out there good and firm, that is definitely still a friendly technique, but it lets them know that you're definitely not wanting them in your area. This is considered friendly, but let me tell you, if you've ever had it done to you, it is not friendly, but you can pinch their inner thigh. He's giving me a look because that one really, really hurts. And if you don't believe me, pinch your own inner thigh and just feel how it feels when you're just testing it.
And there's a little bit more to that. They pinch and pull.
Yes, it's a pinch and a pull, and it does not feel good. You can also, if they have hair to grab, you can grab their hair and pull away. So those are things that are basically considered friendly. Now, to change that into a non-friendly aspect, if you're doing the palm heel strike, as I said, we would come back to that, you're going to go upwards and you're going to give your hip a little twist at the same moment so that you've got a little momentum going there and a little power. That actually can cause some significant damage. It can actually kill somebody because it can break the nose and shove the shards of the bone up into the brain. So it is definitely non-friendly. So if you're just going to smack somebody in the nose, go straight on. If you think your life is in danger, go for it and go straight up. Hand strikes to both ears. You want to cup your hands and you come into their ears and you strike basically as hard as you can. The theory being that it possibly will rupture the eardrums, which is a very painful sensation. Finger strikes to the eyes with an outward pull. So basically thumb or fingers, actually just scraping the face with your fingers. Ladies, if you have fingernails, that's a pretty effective non-friendly technique. A knee or a kick to the groin. If you're not familiar with kicking, my advice would be a knee. For one thing, they've probably got you at this point. So he's got you. I can grab a hold of him too. He doesn't expect me to step in. He expects me to pull away. And you knee them in the groin, and that's kind of a game changer. You can also do a hammer fist. Basically, you make your fist like this, and you can hit the groin. You could actually use that to hit almost anywhere, and because you've made a fist and you're hitting with the side of it, it's effective for you, and it's going to hurt you less too. Biting is a thing. If you are being grabbed, don't stop and go, oh, my mother never told me never, ever to bite, because in this case, it's your life. So if they've got a hold of you and the only thing you can get to is to take a chunk of skin, take a chunk of skin. And a headbutt. So if he's got me with both hands and I'm thinking, gosh, what do I have free? I can slam into his chest or his stomach with my head. And so those would be your non-friendly techniques. Now we'll actually go into the grabs. So if he grabs me by one hand, the first thing he expects me to do in reality is say, no, let me go. And the harder I pull, the more he's going to pull. So don't try to get away from them until you've made them weak. So now comes, what do I have free? So you're trying not to panic and you're thinking, what do I have free? I've got my hands, I've got my hand, I've got my feet, I've got my knees. So I can actually step in and do a strike to the groin. I could do a strike to one of his ears. I could do a palm heel to his nose. At this point, he probably is realizing he's bitten off a little bit more than he can chew. At that point, what you don't want to try to get away on this side of his hand, because that is actually a very hard side to get away from. There's no breaking of the grip. This is the side you want to get away from. So what you do is you basically turn it in a circle, pull it up towards yourself, and step back. By stepping back, you're using your body as part of the counterweight. So I make him weak, I step back. Now, he grabs me with 2 hands. So now the equation is a little bit different. I don't have my hands free, so I can't do anything with my hands. But again, he does not necessarily expect me to move in and do something. So I come in, I hit him in the groin, I scrape and stomp on my way down, I turn his hands, and I step back. So that one again, he's got me, he's not gonna let go, he's not friendly, and that's that. Now, let's just say you were getting away. You thought, oh, I'm getting away. And before you know it, he's got one hand. He's got my hand. Actually, same side. Thank you. He's got my hand. What do I have free? I have lots of stuff free. I can turn, I can strike with my elbow. I can hit him in the groin with my hammer fist that we talked about. If you're good enough, you can kick backwards and possibly kick them in the knee. But if your balance isn't good, don't even try that one, because you're now only on one foot. And even though you've got a hold of him, you don't know when he's going to let go of you. Once you feel like you did a couple of strikes and you made him weak, again, you step forward. It's the same thing, except this time you're stepping away from him. And when you do that, please turn around, because if you're not looking at him, he may be right there again, and you may have to go through the whole thing again. But if you see that he's right there, you can now say something, scream, I don't know you, no, stop, help, any of those things. So now he's got me by both hands. Well, that's a little dicier, because now I have no elbow to hit him with, I have no fist, but I still have my feet. I can kick him in the knee. If you're good enough, sorry, Dave, if you're good enough, you can kick upwards into the groin. You could do a headbutt backwards. You could probably, if he wasn't holding you as tight as he thought, you could even possibly do an elbow into his solar plexus. Once you feel that you have done enough to make him a little bit weak, it's the same thing. So again, I make him weak, I step forward. So those are your basic arm grabs. So now this guy is really serious and he wants to choke me. Now we're not going to actually do a choke here today. We're going to do what we call a lapel grab, which simulates a choke, but sometimes people are known to grab you by the lapels. So he grabs me by the lapels. I don't want this. I got a lot of stuff free. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and then I come up in between and I make fists and I push outwards. So again, he grabs me, I don't like this, I don't like him, and you've gotten away from that one. Another one that might happen from behind is he might grab you and grab you around the middle. And again, my hands are free, so I could possibly do something here. I could shift my hips and do a strike there. At this point, if you think he's a little bit weak, you can grab any finger you can get a hold of, wrench it as hard as you can to the side, which I didn't.
Thank you.
And usually that will loosen the grasp. If he has me and my arms are pinned, that's a dicier situation, especially if you're not familiar with self-defense techniques. But no matter how hard they have you, you can almost always shift your hips. And if you can shift your hips, you can nail him right where it will hurt. And then just bend your knees a little and pull out of that. Again, you might have to grab the finger, but again, he's got me here. He's got me tight. I hit, maybe I even hit twice. Maybe I grab here as I go, but you want to push those arms out of the way. So let's see where we're at here. We did our grabs. Let's do the choke from behind. All right, so when somebody chokes you, the first thing to do is what I did. You notice I'm still talking. Why? Because I tucked my chin. So you tuck your chin, you got all kinds of stuff free. You can hit, you can scrape and stomp, and again, you're probably, oh my God, you've hidden your hand. You're probably going to grab his hand and pull it off of you that way. Do you have another suggestion for that one? Because, Oh, yeah, that's why you were doing that. Okay, he wanted me to bite. So this is that perfect moment where biting is okay. Sorry, Mom, chomp down. So that's definitely a dicier one. But what you want to remember to do is you always want to remember to duck your chin down, tuck it in. Even if he has me in a full chokehold, if I can get my chin down, I've still got room to breathe. And so that's really important. People just panic. They just freeze. They don't know what's expected of them. They don't know what the next move might be. And so they freeze. Instead, think instantly, what do I have free? Okay, I've got my hands, I've got my feet, I've got my teeth. I'm going to scream. I'm going to make a big scene. And those are really important things. We tell the children in karate, you know, children are always raised, and this is an important thing to tell your children, tell your grandchildren, they're raised to listen to other adults. But they have to understand that that isn't always true, because someone can come along and say, your mom said I was supposed to take you to her. I tell the kids, no, you fight. You fight right then, and you fight as hard as you can. You scream, you holler, you scream, no, I don't know you. You're not my mother. You're not my father, whatever the case may be. I don't know you. I'm not going with you. You want that child to make a huge scene, not just like a screaming tantrum child, but one who's really genuinely in peril. And you want that kid to really make some noise. And I always tell the kids, you know what? If it's a mistake, Mom and Dad will sort it out later, and you won't have to worry about it, and you'll still be okay. I think we did, the one hand grab on the shoulder.
Cross?
I think it's okay either way, because what I'm going to do is that. So if he grabs me on the shoulder, I don't like it. Maybe it's not even all that bad, and it can just be a friendly technique, but if it's feeling scary and I don't like it, hit hard, hit what you can, do what you can to stop, twist his hand over, and basically you've got his hand like this. Your thumbs are along the top of his hand, and you're just pressing. Now, you're not trained in these techniques, so you're not going to want to stand there and mess with that. You want to get out of that situation as soon as possible. So once you've got him off of you, maybe give an extra kick and get away. But it's important to not think that you want to stay there and fight. I think we've gone over most of our techniques. One of the things that's important to remember is if you're going to punch someone, if you really think a punch is what's going to be involved, don't put your thumb inside your fist. So your thumb is on the outside. Punch as hard as you can. Throw some shoulder into it. Punch like you mean it. If you're going to kick, you're not just going to kick straight out. That's going to throw you off balance. It's an ineffective kick. When we kick in karate, we bring our knee up, we kick, and we set it back down. So in your case, just do a fast kick so that you don't have to stand on one leg very long. And do remember, too, that if that guy's got a hold of you, for that moment at least, you can use him for a little bit of your balance while you do your technique to get loose. I think that we've gone over just about all of the techniques that we needed to go over. Do you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
Don't be afraid to use elbows. Elbows are incredibly dangerous to other people because they're very hard and they're pointy. If somebody's got you really in close quarters, an elbow is super effective pretty much anywhere you put it. And I'm not saying that you're going to knock the person out. I'm saying you're going to give that person pause to get away from you. There's your exit.
And that's letting them know, too, hey, I'm not the victim you thought I was. Also, ladies, if you're going to do an elbow, most of the ladies in karate that I've been involved with, we do a reinforced elbow. So you're going to do an elbow strike, grab it with your own fist, and hit. The other thing, too, is when he's grabbed my hand, if I've done my weakening techniques and I'm feeling as though he's just not quite as weak as I hoped he would be, grab your own hand, pull it out of the grasp, and then if you feel like it, if he's moving in, come in with an extra strike or come in with that strike. Or you could even come in with a palm heel at that point. But don't be afraid to reinforce your own arm so that you're actually using two arms for the purpose of one. So thank you for coming to spend time with us today. That is pretty much all the techniques that we wanted to go over with you today. We do hope to be doing our presentation live again by the end of the summer. If you would like to find more information on this topic, please go to yrmchealthconnect.org, and that will give you more information. And please watch for us to be having our presentations, hopefully, like I said, by the end of the summer. And thank you.
Thank you.